Welcome to the Beat 139. I'm Doc.
I'm Don Vito. How y'all doing?
Welcome back, everybody, and I'm Callie.
All right, so we want to welcome y'all back. We have our second guest for the evening. He's a hip-hop educator more than a rapper. He's an historian who is moving the culture forward by reintroducing the art of lyricism. Through his company, Smart Hip Hop Global, he creates educational hip-hop soul music, the fusion of deep insights and authentic hip-hop sound. Welcome to the show, LAK Henderson. Larry, what's up, bro? Hey, Larry. So we're gonna start off. I love the hip hop. We're gonna start off like telling everybody where you from and how you got started into the hip hop game.
Well, all right. This is LAK Henderson, CEO, artist on Smart Hip Hop Global, my label. I'm from New Brunswick, New Jersey. I grew up in New Brunswick and Willingboro. You know what I mean? My first home was the projects in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And then I just, moved around a lot, all parts of New Brunswick. And then I spent my teenage years in Willingboro. So that's where I'm from. But as far as how I got started in hip hop, I started rhyming in about the third grade. I was beatboxing first, and then my man that I was beatboxing for was like kick a rhyme. Everybody was at the lunch table. I was going to St. Peter's in New Brunswick, New Jersey. The school's no longer there. But we would all get together at lunch, bang on the table, beatbox. Everybody would be freestyling. My man said kick a rhyme, and that's how everything began. That's where my rhyming started. And then from then it was just battling people and being around the neighborhoods and going from New Brunswick to Franklin and just battling everybody. But that's where it started.
Okay, so as far as hip hop and stuff like that, who inspired you to want to do to be into the hip hop game?
That's two different answers. In the beginning, it was, there's the people in your neighborhood that can rhyme. So like I said, when I started rhyming, it was the people in the lunchroom. It was the people on the corners. It was the people in my building. It was, that was the initial spark. I actually still remember their names. This dude by the name of Saito. He used to date my cousin. So when he came over, my cousin lived with me. He was living with my mom's. He would come over, he would sit in the window, we was on the third floor, he would just like look out the window and freestyle about everybody. So that was like one of my first, I'm like, yo, how are you doing that? I'm like, 8, 9.
Over the top of the head.
Yeah, just about everybody outside. So you wanted to impress the people in your neighborhood. But then I heard Follow the Leader on the radio. You know what I mean? So when I first heard that, it was crazy, you know what I mean? So, listening to Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One and, Brand Nubian and Redman and Queen Latifah and, just listening to lyricists.
Right.
Cool G Rap. I grew up listening to them. But Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and LL Cool J were probably my initial. I wanted to be as cool as LL, as lyrical and cool as Rakim, and as witty as Big Daddy Kane. I had the flat top and all that. I also had the Kango. You know what I mean? So hip hop it was that influence. It was the people in my neighborhood, but listening to LL, Rakim, and Big Daddy Kane initially, I'm like, man, I got to do this.
So as far as your company, Hip Hop Educator, can you explain what that's about?
Yeah, basically, it's a fusion of hip hop, music, and lyricism with educational content. And how that came about is I grew up arguing with people. I came up, it was the Christians, it was the Muslims, it was the gods. We all on the corner fighting, arguing. So initially, you wanted to gain more information to argue with those groups. So I read a lot, you know what I mean? And plus I was on punishment a lot, kicked out of school. So I was also, I had to read as a form of punishment. So I was always around books. Eventually, that made its way into my music. Just a natural progression of reading all the time, first having to read as a form of punishment, then just getting into it, and then wanting to read to combat people that I was arguing with, whether, my perspective has changed. So initially it was from a Christian perspective, arguing with the gods, arguing with the Muslims, and trying to get this book and get that book and read this tablet and read that. all that information kind of started seeping into the music. So how the company initially began was I just got to a point where I wanted to make an educational album. So we formed the company around that. I knew we couldn't really go to nobody to push it. So it was like we either gonna do this ourselves or it's not gonna get done. So the fusion of just having that background, reading, arguing, coming up, I'm sure y'all know how that goes, you know what I mean? And just being a natural rapper, a person that has a battle rapper experience and was doing all that, it just got to a point where it just fused. And then created the company and then saw the impact that that music had all over and was just building upon it.
So how old were you when you decided, like, okay, this is something I want to take serious and I want to work on with this to be one of my careers in my life? And one other thing I want to add to that is, what inspired you to, first let's go with that question, because this is going to be something totally different. So let's go with that one first.
I started going to the studio in 7th, 8th grade. When I moved to Willingboro, my right-hand man was Megahertz. He did the Got Yourself a Gun from Nas. So I did my first recordings with him.
Right, so you would say that's the song that, what's the strong song that really put you out there for right now? Like what people know you from? Like what was that?
You mean right now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now it's lesson 1 and lesson 2. It's those bodies of work. You know, lesson 2 being an Amazon bestseller. Lesson 2, you know, mind you, starting out that early, that young. You know, I had my songs played on the radio when I was 9th grade and all that types of stuff. Living in Willingboro, having doing the Philly stations. So that's where everything began. But there's a whole history of things that didn't work after that. You know what I mean? A whole history of working with all types of companies and all types of artists and all types of groups, getting this number, meeting this person, and your man gonna put you on. And I went through all of that. So then when it finally, you know, when I got to a point where it's like, yo, I'm just doing this for the children, I'm just doing this because I want to. Lesson 1 and lesson 2, those bodies of work, the success of that made me say, okay, this is the company that I'm gonna, you know, it was actually lesson 1 being an Amazon bestseller. It was actually lesson 1 having my music travel around the world. You know, prior to that, it didn't happen.
Right.
No matter who I
Is
was
this life
with.
experiences that you put in your music, or is this just things that you come up with that you think of and you just writing down off of your mind at the time?
Well, lesson 1, that whole album is in my library. I got a huge library at the rest. So that whole album is in my library. Lesson 2, and plus lesson 1, it was education first, hip hop second. Lesson 2, I'm like, this is gonna be hip hop first and education second. So I'm still touching on subjects that I want to touch on, but I am infusing a little bit of personal stuff.
Okay.
But it's an educational album. So like I have an anti-bullying song called Laugh at My Pain. So some of those stories is things that happened to me, being bullied or beating up bullies and
Right,
things
some
of
of
that
your
nature, you know what I mean?
experiences.
But it's in an educational realm and package.
Right, so a little bit of everything you have.
Right.
in there.
Right.
Okay.
Lesson 2 is definitely hip hop with education infused in it. Lesson 1 is education with hip hop infused in it.
Okay.
But
So-
the success of these 2 albums is why I'm doing this right now.
Okay.
What does LAK mean? Or where'd you get that?
Lyrics and knowledge. It's an
Okay,
acronym,
okay.
You know, lyrics and knowledge.
Okay,
It's
so that's where that
basically
comes
what the music is about.
Okay, that's cool. Because I just wanted to know where that came from. So I see you've been working, champ. You've been a lot of places, man. You've been on a lot of radio stations. You've been all over the country. You've been international.
Gotta work.
You've been working, man. It looks real good. You've been on a lot of shows.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, a guy with your talent and stuff like that, you know, the Beat 139, we just want to hear you flow right quick. Let's see if something with the hip hop educated guy, you know, to say on the microphone. Right
No
quick.
doubt. This is
You can beatbox, you can bang on the table, however you want to do it, like back in the school.
There's some beatboxing on lesson 2 though.
Okay.
But what's America without the black labor? Some of people's faith without the burnt brass savior. The migrators resulting in other races through adaptation, adjusting the climates that God gave us. You see it's in the pyramids, many colorful images, founders of the faith at the root of what a religion is, coming out of slavery, overcoming horrificness, having the Obamas where Columbia's district is. The black mind designed the first boat. I wouldn't be surprised if Noah had some old notes. The pyramids of Giza preceded a foreign touch. They shot the nose off the Sphinx because it resembled us.
Okay. Hip-hop educator. How you feel about that, Doc?
I can keep going, you know what I'm saying, if y'all want to hear something, you know.
Now we're gonna get back to you. We're gonna keep it flowing. We're gonna keep it
We
flowing.
got some music. Let's hear the music real quick. Can you get into the song right here?
Okay.
And what's the name of this one?
It's Pharaoh's Gold.
Pharaoh's Gold.
And I was talking about Megahertz. Megahertz produced this track right here.
Okay,
Okay.
He made the beat, produced the track. Shout out to him and my man Mercury Beats.
Okay.
And is this hip hop first and then educational or educational hip hop?
This is educational. I'm trying to, you know, when I was talking about Pharaoh's Gold, it's about how the ancient Phoenicians, Egyptians, how they wore gold. You know, when we see our people today and we like they flossing, they doing all this, I'm like, that's not a new thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They was wearing gold 3, 4, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And they did it worse than we did it today. Not worse, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gold will. So when you hear that, I'm fusing. I'm
It's
talking
definitely
about
within our culture.
combining the two worlds.
Yes, on there.
Gold wheels on chariots, blue ice on ambulance. Chain cover my collarbone and the all go throw with a pharaoh sits. Gold is flesh in the guards. With my eye you can see it on Mars. Gold rod, gold staff, I get wealth, you get bad. My servants sip grapes out of golden cups. Gold death mask that a rival tucks. And the queen get buried in a tomb similar to a Sheridan. So I got bread that can change your lineage. Even in a dark age, I can change a period. Risk ain't sick, but the waste is ignorant. Before you had tents, we done made the pyramids. Can't be serious. War for the gold, you a league of scrimmages. You an earth king, I'm a god serious. I pull up on shores in a gold pavilion.
Don't matter what you do because I shine just like the sun.
Gold wheels on
All
chariots.
you can do is to hate me. Don't matter what you do because I shine just like the sun. All you can do is to hate me.
Here DNA lays the ancient soul that cannot be destroyed with their ships. I barcode the matrix, make a dope boy wanna take the cake mix. Now we shed blood on ground that's sacred, trying to shine like that sun with day 6. Genesis 2:12. I don't even gotta check gold you can sell. Probably tell Christ your son get a scale. Matter of fact, get my eyes foreign else tell tales. Yeah, underground like Harriet. Peace on the chain, swing low as we chariots. Tell them OGs, you ain't having it. Tough talk those civilized savages. Yeah, fools go fool men. Cause now gold's an illusion.
Don't matter what you do because I shine just
Okay.
like
Now we live.
Anybody tell you sound a little bit like Game?
Nah, I've heard Rakim.
Yeah, I heard Rakim.
Prodigy.
Yeah, I heard Rakim.
Hakim
They like
and
Rakim
Prodigy.
and Game, like some words just sound a little like Game.
Nah, I haven't heard the game. That's a first.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Well, like
game.
Rakim,
He's
yeah.
an
Yeah, that's
incredible
nice.
artist.
Different, a nice chorus. That was smooth. I
Thank
like
you.
it.
Appreciate that.
So I see you did a track here with Capone.
We have on the album Lesson 2. He's on Redemption. But we also, after we did Redemption, the chemistry and how we was vibing in the studio was so cool that we was like, yo, we did another joint, and then we just decided to record an EP. So we got we got some powerful joints coming out, man. We just did a joint about Queen Nzinga and Asada Shakur called The Black Woman is God. It's crazy. You know, we got some powerful music on there. You know, it's education.
Right.
It's still, you know what I'm saying, but it's crazy, man. So shout out to the God Capone. Yeah, we doing some powerful music together. Redemption. When you listen to that, it's you know, his first verse is about modern warfare. The second verse is about Haitian Revolution. Shout out to my man Jack Sparrow. And the third verse, I highlight all the like ancient warriors of the past, Bambaataa, Quechua, Harriet Tubman. You know, I'm giving a shout to them. So it's That's on lesson 2 though already.
So do you do like a lot of like seem like you do a lot of research?
Yeah.
Or you study a lot, you know, in
Yeah.
order for them to have this type of knowledge and information. you know?
Yes, man. When I was in the 4th grade, I was living with my grandmother. I got pretty much kicked out of school, and I had to read the narrative tales of Frederick Douglass. That was like, I was in 4th grade, and then after that, I had to read like Race Matters by Cornel West. So, and then you combine that with when I moved with my grandmother, I couldn't run the streets. Like when I was living with my mom in New Brunswick, I could do anything I wanted. You know what I mean? She worked nights in New York, so we was just wilding. When I moved to my grandmother, the only thing I had in my room was a stack of encyclopedias. And you know, she had that switch action popping. She's from the South. You get beat with a switch, you know, you're not butt naked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I've been there.
Yeah, good change.
That extension cord feel just like a switch too though.
Yeah, I didn't, my mom did the extension cords. My grandma, she told me to pick the switch, bring it in, strip.
Yeah.
She got busy.
Old school.
So that, it altered the course.
Right.
So, but I had, being that I was in the house and I wasn't doing the things, and I no TV, no radio, nothing. I had a stack of Walt Disney encyclopedias, and I read the whole thing. You know what I mean? And it just sort of happened that way. You know what I mean? I didn't. It was just all I could do was read, and then just from there, I just never stopped. Just never stopped.
Wow.
So I see you toured a lot. You have like a manager?
My wife is my business partner. You know what I'm saying? My wife, we run the company together. You know, it's her and I, me and her. We've been together for 22 years. You know, we got 3 beautiful girls. You know what I'm saying? So she brings all of the professionalism and expertise and everything that we need to the company. You know, I bring what I need to bring. She brings what she needs to bring, and we make it happen.
So where do you see your company maybe 3 years from now and you as a lyricist?
Well, you know, we're trying to grow, so there's a whole host of things that we're working on. We got the EP with Capone coming out. It should be dropping 2020. After that, man, we're working on some plays and some documentaries, and you know, I don't want to get into it, but it's a lot coming.
Any dates where you want to tell the audience where they can come out to, or anything that you need help with?
Well, you know, we're right now beginning everything as far as the shows and you know, not beginning, but this is the time for lesson 2.
Where you're still getting everything together. Gotcha.
This is lesson 2's time. You know, we pushed the album came out in February. We were supposed to push, but me and Capone got together and we had the idea of doing the EP. So we just started working on that without me pushing lesson 2.
Okay.
So now that we're 80% done with that, we got 2 songs left to record, and then we'll be finished. I'm just starting to, you know, get lesson 2 and do what I wanted to do in February. So right now is the time to get at us, but we have things coming up. You can, you get at us on Instagram, Smart Hip Hop, on Twitter, Smart Hip Hop, and YouTube and Facebook, there's Smart Hip Hop Music. You'll find out everything, but you know, we're going all over the world.
I definitely support this brother here because he's doing a lot of things. He's working. So anything else you need to share with us?
Man, just get lesson 1, get lesson 2. Everything's available on all streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Smart Hip Hop. Follow us on Twitter, Smart Hip Hop. Check out the video for Redemption. Check out the video for Gods and the Motive. Both of those songs are on lesson 2. And look out for that EP coming out in top of 2020 latest.
So you want me to
So
play
can you tell them what
Redemption?
podcast you
Yeah, you
on?
can play Redemption.
Wait, I'm gonna play Redemption. We had 2 songs.
It's time for war. Redemption. It's time for war. Redemption. righteous teachers with pharaoh features. Like one of the kings from Egypt, the plan is to lock us, stripping our freedom, mass incarceration. Jails is crowded all across the nation with black faces, with 25 for crack cases. These new modern laws and track races. Hands high, still the cop shooters, claiming we rock movers. Block looters, the reason they put the blocks to us. They fed us punk and false knowledge, I talk dollars. Cause in this land of America, you hear the poor holler. A known scholar, do the math. What they teaching in class is transparent. I can see through the glass. It's on us to educate the babies, the black poets and athletes, before they end up dead on the back street. We ain't running no more, kid, it's time for war. Impeach the POTUS, his mind is apocalyptic. First they gave us dope, now it's pills, that's not prescriptive. Modern day genocide. They see us in a ride, crossing 100 grand shooters just like the son of Sam.
Try to be fine, shit to Hispaniola, better known as Haiti, warriors of Judah. It's not music. What does it mean when I say gasoline? Late night, the drums will scream.
I like that beat though, man. I like that.
Yes. Is that your single that's out now, or is that on the album?
That's on the album.
Okay.
That's on the album. We do have a video for that, so go check that Redemption video out. Capone, Jack Sparrow, myself, and Cherry Pop. And go check that Gods in the Motor video out. Shout out to my man Nice, you know, and Jack Sparrow's on that too. Yeah.
Definitely support him, y'all. Definitely.
It's on YouTube?
Keep behind each other and
Yes,
support.
Yes, sir. So
You definitely need to support that.
Yeah.
So you shout out your social media links already, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
can you let them know what podcast show you on?
I'm on the beat 139.
That's right.
Hey.
Coming soon, Hip Hop Educator EP.
In the building.